Well, hello everyone. We are from Group 1 and we're going to deliver our materials about consumer learning. And before that, we were going to introduce ourselves. Myself is Muhammad Tiki Fairuz and I'm here with my friends Mostaf and Fatrahman. Next slide, please. So, definition of the consumer learning itself, it is the study and application of knowledge and experiences about purchase and consumption behaviors, and it is influenced by past experiences, perceptions, and social interactions. And this knowledge shapes future behaviors from simple responses to marketing stimuli to complex decision making. And learning can be purposeful or accidental, involving recognition or marketing cues and making purchasing judgments. Next slide, please. And this is the elements of consumer learning. So there are four elements. The first one is the motivation. Motivation is impacts the learning process. When people have unfulfilled wants, they look for answers, and which leads to learning. For example, those interested in cycling for fitness, learning about bikes and trails. Meanwhile, those that are uninterested dismiss it. And customers' willingness to learn about products or services is determined by their motivation. And the next one is cues. Cues are the stimuli that influences consumer behaviors. They range from an advertisement promoting a luxurious vacation for the price, design, packaging, and promotion, and also the store displays of a product. And to be effective, cues must be consistent with consumer expectations. And marketers must establish consistency across all components of the marketing mix in order to drive consumer behavior in the design direction. And the next one is responses. Responses refer to how people react to cues or desires, and they can be obvious or subtle. And consistent cues from an automobile manufacturer, for example, can form a positive image of a car model in the minds of buyers, influencing future purchasing decisions. And the last one is reinforcement. Reinforcement in consumer behavior refers to the rewards, satisfaction, and benefits that individuals receive from purchasing and using a product or service. It is crucial for marketers to consistently provide positive experiences to reinforce future purchases. On the next slide is about classical conditioning. Classical conditioning, it is a type of behavioral learning, happens when automatic responses develop from repeated pairings of stimuli based on the concept of that stimulus combined with another that triggers identify response might create the same response on its own. And is in human behavior, it happens when a neutral input is repeatedly connected with a reaction. And the strategic application of classical conditioning as a consumer behavior is to apply it in associative learning, repetition from association, stimulus generalization and branch extensions, and also stimulus discrimination and branch differentiation. Next slide.
Instrumental conditioning. The theory of instrumental conditioning, also known as operant conditioning, holds that learning occurs through trial and error, with habits establishing as a result of reward of specific behavior. Unlike classical conditioning, which uses stimuli to trigger response, here the behavior that results in the large rewards are learned. According to psychologists, B.F. Skinner concept, people learn best when they are rewarded. Therefore, encourage positive results can shape consumer behavior. Instrumental conditioning, including first is reinforcement, second is extinction and forgetting, third is customer satisfaction and retention, and the fourth is shaping, and the fifth is mass versus distribute learning. Next slide, please. Observational learning. Observational learning, also known as modeling, involves individuals' learning behavior by observing others and the consequence of their action. For this type of learning to occur, reinforcement is necessary. For instance, Joy, a commuter, noticed an increasing number of train riders using e-reader. Intrigued, he decided to purchase one, knowing he can return it within 30 days if unsatisfied. After buying it, a conductor he sees regularly compliment Joy on the purchase and ask questions about the device. Joy's decision to purchase the e-reader was influenced by observational learning. Next slide. Information processing. Information processing is how consumers make purchasing decisions, sometimes quick, other times involving seeking and evaluating information. Cognitive learning involves mental processing, and not automatic response. It includes analyzing project data like qualities, branding, and comparison. Complexity depends on attributes and choices, with those having greater cognitive abilities processing more. Experience improve decision making. Processing includes storing, encoding, retrieving, and retaining information. And there are three information processing is storing data, encoding data, and retrieving and retaining data. Next slide, please.
Okay, the next slide is we are talking about cognitive learning. Cognitive learning is the process of carefully considering option and knowledge in order to meet requirement or solve issues. Cognitive learning requires conscious thoughts as opposed to behavior learning, which involve involuntary reaction. It happens when people need to gather and analyze information in order to make a decision in order to achieve certain goals. This procedure involves learning about the available option, evaluating them, giving some a try, and ultimately making a decision. For instance, while solving for a digital camera, one must research the many models, select the qualities they most value, then select the best one. And the next one is consumer involvement and hemispheric lateralization. Customer involvement identifies the difference between regular and significant purchase by evaluating the value of a product to the individual. According to the theory of hemispheric lateralization, the brain is separated in two specialist areas, the left, which reinforces language and logic, and the right, which develop creativity and imagination. For guarantee comprehensive result, optimal decision combines both a creative and analytical procedure. Understanding how this cognitive process interact make it easier to deal with difficult choice and successfully satisfy the demand and the preference of wide range of the customer. And the next one is outcomes and measure of consumer learning. There are three primary components compose consumer learning outcomes. The first one is brand equity, brand loyalty, and the recognition and recall measures. Consumer perception of advertising are evaluated by recognition and recall tests, which help determine how engaged they are with the proportional message. Consumer frequency of purchase, tendency of changing brand, dedication to particular brand, and measured by brand loyalty. Brand equity, which is a brand intrinsic value generated from consumer perceptions, superiority, social standing, trust, and identification, is enhanced by high brand loyalty. Understanding this result, direct marketing tactic guarantees successful delivery of brand advantage and encouraging knowledgeable consumer choice, especially for low commitment purchase. And we will talking about the study case is Walt Disney license. Walt Disney has a strong intellectual property rights (IPRS) strategy is the foundation of its success in licensing and merchandising. Trademarks such as the famous Mickey Mouse ears and the Disney logo, which allow other companies to use this symbol on the variety of products from apparel to home decor, contribute to this strategy. Disney guarantee character item creation and distribution through the clever licensing contract, strengthening the connection between fans and Disney World. Disney's storytelling initiatives are further enhanced by copyright protection, which protect its artworks, TV series, and movies and make it possible to create items inspired by its rich creative works. Disney also licensed its character and concept to outside companies, bring its magical story into them park. This strengthens guests' emotional attachment to Disney brand by allowing them to bring a tangible souvenir of their park experience home. Disney IPR strategy, takes as a whole, is a cornerstone of the company's effort to enhance and entertain viewers everywhere by securing the timeless popularity of its beloved character and stories for the future generation. So the conclusion is the process of the consumer learning is complex and involves motivation, cues, response, and reinforcement. By knowing customer behavior and preference, marketers want to enhance market share and brand loyalty. Test of recognition and record evaluate the impact of the advertising, while brand loyalty measure customer loyalty to particular brand. A brand with a strong brand equity is more valuable and makes it easier to introduce new items. Disney licensing strategy, which use trademarks, character licensing, copyright agreements, and tempered partnership to dazzle audience worldwide, exemplifies the strength of intellectual property rights in the businesses. In essence, maintaining the value of the brand across generation and creating long-lasting relationship with customer depend on strategic licensing and effective consumer learning. So I think that's it, our presentation about consumer learning. Thank you so much for your attention.